Hello, and welcome to The Journey. I'm Colin Rhodes, the producer of The Journey and host of this episode. Today, I'll be talking with Matthew and Andrew Stewart, two brothers that make up the local Christian band Soldiers and Sons. They'll be talking about how faith and music come together in their lives. And in a WCTV first, Soldiers and Sons will be performing their original song, Slip Away, in the studio. Plus, I'll interview Senior Biblical Ministries and Studies major Nick Haushalter about Reformation Day. And finally, I'll give the word of encouragement. So sit back, relax, you're watching The Journey. Welcome back to The Journey. Joining me today are Matthew and Andrew Stewart, who together make up the Waynesburg-based Christian band Soldiers and Sons. Matthew, Andrew, thank you for joining us today.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Thank you.
All right, we have a couple questions for you. And first off, let's start off with how you guys came to love music as you do now.
I would say music has just kind of always been a part of our life. We grew up listening to Christian music, a lot of Cutlass and bands like that, but I started playing the guitar when I was 9. I had a hard time focusing on a lot of things when I was a kid, very easily distracted, but when I picked up the guitar, I saw my dad playing it, and I just wanted to play it, and it was like the one thing in my life where like I could actually just lose track of time because I just became obsessed with it. And so ever since I was 9, music for me has been very pun intended, instrumental in my life.
Yeah, it's our parents' love for music. They put that into us and playing music. I mean, I went to my first concert when I was like 3 or 4 years old. Don't remember it, but that was just the start of that journey, and we've just always been around it, so just kind of always gravitated towards it.
All right, and what instruments do you guys play typically?
I typically play guitar and I sing, and also piano. I play piano.
You can pretty much play a little bit of anything. I'm just the drummer.
We all need those drummers. And what about your faith? Can you give us a little bit of a background on your faith and your relationship with Jesus?
Sure can. Grown up in the church, I've been a part of the Waynesburg Bible Chapel for 28 years. Andrew actually was the one that led me to the Lord when I was about 6 years old. I just remember it as clear as day. He was just so concerned. He's like, Matt, I don't want you to go to hell. I want you to know Jesus. And I just remember sitting on our kitchen floor in front of the heater on a winter day and asking Jesus to come into my life and forgive me for the sins. And ever since, grown up in the church, getting to develop a relationship with Jesus over the years, kind of moving from just knowing about him to actually knowing him. And so that's what I would say for me in a short, summed up answer.
Yeah, I would say we were very blessed to grow up in a Christian home and be very immersed into Bible stories and Sunday school. And then as we got older, learning what that really means. And so it wouldn't simply just become our parents' faith that we, from studying Scripture, learned what that meant to apply to our lives and, serve the Lord.
All right, and now that we have this background of your music and your faith, how do you guys put them together in your daily life?
Well, I feel since God has gifted us with these musical talents, that it's only fair that we use them to glorify Him in every aspect of our life. And that just so happens to be that since He's gifted us with the talent of music, we're going to pursue music. And I've kind of learned in my life that really the goal of our life is to go into the world and make disciples and to bring honor to our Heavenly Father. So really, no matter what happens in our life, if the music were ever taken away from us, our goal remains the same. Mm-hmm. Just the way we accomplish it may change. But it's kind of, the Lord just has continued to open up doors for us to use music as an outlet to kind of share our story and to share our faith and just to kind of spread God's love to everyone we come into contact with. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, I would say, kind of one of the tags of our band is we share our faith through music, and that's really the outlet that we, have choose to done that with. Like, music is a huge part of our life, but it's just a way that we can express that faith in a musical way.
All right. Now, how did you guys decide, and when did you guys decide to create your group, Soldiers and Sons?
So that's an interesting question, because we've been playing music for since I was 9, and I can't remember when you started. We started playing in our praise band at church, and we started, actually, Soldiers and Sons was not our original name. We had a different name when we started playing music. But when our father got sick with cancer and then ultimately passed away in 2013 is when we decided to kind of shift gears and take a real hard look at what we were doing and really how we were going about it. And that's when God really kind of gave us the passion to pursue it on a professional level. And that's when we changed our name to Soldiers and Sons. And do you want to share a little bit about our name?
Yeah, we wanted to find a name that would really, serve what we were about, but we also wanted to honor our earthly father. And I can't remember how exactly, I think you came up with it, but just through a lot of talking and discussing, Soldiers and Sons represents our father, who served in the military for almost 30 years. And, so he was a soldier and we were his sons, yet we're also soldiers for Christ, and we're sons of Christ as well. And so we thought, well, what better way that we could, have a dual meaning, that we are soldiers for Jesus Christ. Our father was a soldier. We are, sons of the Lord, and we're the son of a soldier. And so we thought, what better way to honor?
Yeah, we really wanted to find a way to honor our father, because really both of our parents, Marty and Mona Stewart, have just been incredible influences on our lives. And really, we have just been beyond blessed that they took the time and effort to raise us, I would say raise us right, and to really have us pursue our faith for ourselves. And that's kind of, it's bled into every aspect of our lives, including the music. And so we really, when our father passed away, we really wanted to find something that was a dual purpose.
Because even right before he passed away, we had made the decision to pursue music kind of more than just a hobby. And so that's when we had the name change. We said, this is something we're going to continue to do as the Lord sees fit to open doors.
Yep.
All right, that is really cool. Now, when you guys are not being Soldiers and Sons playing music as that group, what do you guys do?
Oh, that's a really great question. It really depends on what day it is. I know for me, I do a lot of handyman work, side work, flipping houses, and really anything that pays the bills. And also I work at my church. I'm the full-time worship leader and coordinate all the music and with young adults studies and so on and so forth. So for me, it's a little bit of everything. Andrew's got more of a straightforward answer.
Yeah, I actually work full-time for the university. I work in ITS. I'm one of the help desk analysts. So, I'm there for all your IT needs. Not really, but, well, yes.
All right. Now, you guys obviously are still playing as Soldiers and Sons. You're doing a little segment later in this show with a song of yours called Slip Away. Can you tell us a little bit about the story of that?
Yeah, we can. You want to, or you want me to?
Go for it.
So Slip Away kind of came out of a place of, we had a friend he's an alcoholic, and just kind of, he was a friend that came in our lives and just, when you just meet someone and you just feel like you've known them your whole life, and watching him struggle with addiction was very difficult. And I think we can all relate when we see someone who has their own battles. Like, we all have our own struggles, and sometimes when you watch the people you love most go through these struggles, you just wish you could jump in and fight their battles for them. But in reality, you can't do that. And so it was really just a song of a cry, that begging them not to slip away, that no matter what, like I'm still holding on. And And so it was really just out of this place of, please don't walk away from me. Please don't walk away from the Lord. One of the lines is, I've loved you, and I'm losing my grip because it feels like there's this separation, this moving into isolation, and so it really was just a cry for that. So that's kind of where Slip Away comes.
Yeah, and I think it could be applied to really any type of struggle in life that is pulling you away from family or specifically pulling you away from the Lord. And it's hard when you see loved ones struggle with anything, but knowing that you can't just step in and fight their battles, and that you have to just give up that control and give that to the Lord, as they need to do the same. And but finding a way to let them know that you are fighting for them as much as you can, and you don't want to see them slip away.
What are you guys planning to do in the future with Soldiers and Sons?
That is a great question. We are going to continue doing what we're doing. When God opens up doors, we're going to keep playing anywhere anybody would listen to us. We're working on some new music. I know for myself, I'm not the most gifted songwriter. I'm much more comfortable playing on a stage in front of people than I am writing songs. So kind of in a season of trying to work on some more originals. But yeah, as God opens doors.
Yeah, I mean, we've had the opportunity to play a few festivals, which was fantastic. And as our style plays, the style that we play changes. We've had the opportunity to play a lot of coffee houses, even here on campus, a lot of worship events, and lately that has been what has really been opened up, getting to do a lot of youth-specific events too. So as long as those keep coming up, we just want to, as Matt said, keep playing where people want to hear. So and just keep sharing the good news of Christ.
Yeah.
All right. You mentioned that you guys have played at festivals. Can you tell us a little bit about those festivals? Because I know
Sure.
you guys have an interesting story with
We
them.
do actually, yeah, we do. We entered into a battle of the bands at Creation Fest in 2019. Was it 2018? 2019? COVID really messed up my timeline here. But we entered in a battle of bands, and we were one of 17 bands to play that. And our producer was going to be playing with us, and we had another friend who was going to be playing with us. And we were leading worship at a camp before the competition. And at the camp where we were leading worship, Andrew falls and separated
my shoulder.
Separated his shoulder, and I mean it was pretty scary. And not only he wasn't going to be, I knew in that moment he wasn't going to be able to play for the competition, but like I didn't know if he would ever be able to play drums again. And so it was pretty scary, and it kind of we had to shift some things around. Fortunately, our producer he also plays drums, and so we moved some instruments around, and I drove to Virginia to practice for 2 hours, drove back through the night to leave next day for the festival, and it was a mess. It really was, and we went into this competition just backwards. But you know what? We said we were just honored to have the opportunity to play there. To be at Creation Fest, and so we went and we said, God, whatever happens, you get all the glory, and so we're just happy to be here. And so we played, and it was I think on a Thursday. We played, and Andrew wasn't able to play, arm in a sling. I mean, he's in massive pain, and we did, and we thought it went pretty well. And my producer and my friend, he had to leave. And so we stayed because they were announcing the winners on Saturday, and we watched the rest of the competition. And they gathered us all up at the end, and we were just like, hey, hey, I'm just happy to be along for the ride, And they were like, hey, everyone did a really great job, but there was one band that really stuck out, and we'd like to congratulate Soldiers and Sons for winning this competition. I mean, I was just like, the first thing I said was, are you sure? Like, are you sure that we won? And they're like, yeah. And they're like, we want you guys to play a couple songs on the main stage this afternoon. And I was like, I gotta get my guitar at our campsite. And Andrew's like, I need to take some painkillers if I'm gonna try to play drums. And we were just in awe. I mean, we ran back to the campsite, we got our stuff, and just to watch Andrew play in that moment when I didn't think at all he was
T-Rexing it.
T-Rexing it in a sling, and it was. But you know what? It was just an amazing testament. We can just say that what the Lord was able to do with just a couple of broken guys, you know, physically and just our need for a Savior. But it was incredible. And we got to play in front of thousands of people, and we played a couple songs. And actually, "Slip Away" was one of the songs
I was going to say
we played.
That was the song we played. And the cool thing is, for winning that, we got invited back the following year for a regular time slot. I believe we got to play right before KB, I think, which was really cool. Getting to see them set up and then play a full set. So
and Skillet played later that night.
Yeah.
So to share the stage with those guys was pretty wild. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for being on this show. When we come back, I'm going to be talking with Senior Biblical Ministries and Studies major Nick Haushalter about Reformation Day.
You're watching WCTV, where we aim to bring you the best local coverage of what you care about most. Everything from local businesses to hometown sports and the latest weather. We're keeping up to date with what you need to know about issues that affect our campus and our community. We're telling the stories that matter, celebrating our past, our future, and our potential. So tune in for all the latest buzz right here on WCTV Channel 14, Waynesburg.
Ups and the downs, everything is changing. The wind and the waves will try to sweep you off your feet. You've been walking in the rain for far too long, with a heart drenched in pain. Don't you slip away. Don't you slip away. Don't you slip away from me. These painted walls, I love this color. I don't ever want to look for another. I was happy then, I'm happy now, always and forever. You've been walking in the rain for far too long, with a heart drenched in pain. Don't you slip away. Don't you slip away. Don't you slip away from me. In my grip, but I'm still holding on. Don't you slip away. Don't you slip away. Don't you slip away from me. From me.
This has been a production of Waynesburg Community Television.